welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Claire, and she gave me a dealer's choice to do whatever I want. And what I really wanted to do was play Sowing Mycospawn, because I keep freaking dying to this thing. Sowing Mycospawn, 3 and a green for an Eldrazi Fungus. It has Kicker for 1 and a colorless. When you cast this, search your library for a land, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. You just get that for free attached to your Hill Giant. For an additional 2 mana, you also get to exile target land. And what these play patterns end up looking like is traditional Eldrazi aggro stuff, like Chalice of the Void, put some small pressure on the board, maybe disrupt you with a Thought-Knot Seer. And from the control side, or the side that's trying to not get run over by Eldrazi, normally that's about when you're like, okay, I need a good top deck here. If I can kill the Thought-Knot, then I draw another card, and then I can start dealing with these little things. But that's when Sowing Mycospawn exiles one of your lands and tutors Wasteland to get another one, and you're just dead. That's the play pattern I've been experiencing from the opposite side of this deck, and it's disgusting, but I want to be part of it. This deck, though, is just a pretty classic Eldrazi aggro. This was a huge deck probably 5-6 years ago. Big part of the Legacy metagame. Kind of got outclassed over time, but we have new stuff to do with Eldrazi. Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, Cavern of Souls are classics. Ivogin classic, Eldrazi Temple. The mana base is basically all old cards, but cool new cards make up almost all of this deck. Hit that heralds the end. Colorless spells that cost 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast. Other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. That +1/+1 is huge because Glaring Fleshraker and Kozilek's Command both crank out Eldrazi spawns, which are 0/1s. And if you're 3 or 4 0/1s laying around, much less 10 or 12 0/1s laying around, become 1/2s, the game ends very quickly. Glaring Fleshraker also deals 1 to your opponent whenever a colorless creature comes into play, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, you get a spawn. So basically, every spell you cast in this deck, when you have Fleshraker in play, makes a spawn, ping them for 1, then the spell resolves, ping them for 1. It adds a shock to everything you cast, and it makes it cost 1 less because you could sack that spawn for 1 mana. Devourer of Destiny is kind of a colorless Once Upon a Time. You can reveal this from your opening hand, look at your top 4 cards of your library, exile the rest, and keep 1. So you basically get to set up the top of your deck, your first draw of the game, from the best of the 4 cards that are there. And this is a reasonable thing to cast later. It's a 7-drop, but you'll get there. Kozilek's Command, mentioned for its ability to make spawns. It also, Scry's X draws a card. Exile target creature with mana value X or less. Exile up to X cards from graveyards. There's lots of cool words on this one. Every time I play against this card, it seems to have a different mode I didn't know about. I'm pretty sure there's 17 secret modes of Kozilek's Command. So I'm going to play with it and really get some practical experience rocking it myself so I know how to actually play around it in real life. And Null Drifter is the flex slot. I got this list from, I think it was a top 8 in Japan. And Null Drifter was the slot where I was like, well, that could be Matter Reshaper, that could be the new Eldrazi Battle Mage, that could be Trinisphere. Like, there's a lot of things this could be. But then I remembered I love drawing cards, and I'm just going to leave the Null Drifter in. That's what's going on here. We're trying to cast 2 drops on turn 1, 4 drops on turn 2, 7 drops on turn 3, and smush our opponent before they do anything. Let's make it happen. This is Claire's Eldrazi aggro. I'm on the draw in round 1. I have 2 Devourer of Destinies. I can reveal both and get the best of the top 7 cards in my deck. That sounds pretty good. I'm sending them both. Let's go. Here they are. And this happens on my first upkeep, so it doesn't happen immediately. This hand has a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, plus whatever Devourer of Destiny comes up with. Underground Sea is what my opponent has for me. 2 Devourer triggers. I think I would like Thought-Knot Seer the most out of these cards. The petals are colored sources for the Mycospawns, but if I could hitch it twice with Thought-Knot Seer, that's kind of cool. And there's, oh right, for some reason I thought I could have Thought-Knot Seer plus whatever I select out of this, but that's just not how any of that works. It's going to be, I think I'm going to pivot onto Cavern of Souls. Underground Sea decks frequently have Wasteland in them. But I'll take the Cavern. And I'm going to play Eye of Ugin and pass. Didn't end up with a 1-drop, unfortunately, or a 0-drop. Instead, Brainstorm. This is a little scary because if this is scam, they can strip my Null Drifter and reanimate it, and then I get annihilated. I don't actually have good answers to my own Eldrazi's. Yep, Wasteland confirmed. That's why I took the land. Another Myco spawn. I have to lead on Ancient Tomb because I actually can't cast anything with Cavern of Souls. This has always been true of the Eldrazi aggro decks. They're really soft to Wasteland. If you don't get up under it, like if you're on the play and have a play on turn 1 and they try to waste from behind, you can really steamroll them. But if they are going first, you could be in trouble. I can evoke Null Drifter next turn, which unfortunately puts it in my graveyard for their reanimates. Oh, they might just do it anyway. Party's over. Maybe this was a mulligan. This isn't really my wheelhouse, this type of deck. And maybe just I need to curve out harder. They stifled their grief so they get to keep it. That's fine. And they stack their triggers backwards so they don't know what my hand is when they committed to that stifle. It was just kind of free to do it the other way. It doesn't matter because my hand doesn't interact in that way, but if you're over there playing this deck, be aware of that. Okay, they took Myco Spawn, not Null Drifter. That's good news. Oh, we're Grixis scam. Fascinating. Okay, Cavern on Eldrazi. And then I'm going to evoke the Null Drifter. Mully. Terrible thing to get reanimated, but we're out here. Zoing Myco Spawn's back online with Cradle. Or with, I have Chalice. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth also in my hand. See what happens here. I could just cast a Thought-Knot Seer. I think that's reasonable. The Ancient Tomb is doing a bunch of damage to me. I think I'd rather Myco Spawn with Kicker in the future. Uncounterable Thought-Knot Seer, get in there. They do have Stifles in their deck, we've seen them. Okay, so they had a Stifle and didn't use it, and their hand is 2 Dazes that are never going to do anything. I'm going to take the Stifle. It's weird they didn't Stifle that. What were they holding that for? I don't know what's going on right now. Under, that's a really good find. Under found Brainstorm off of a shuffle, so that was down and dirty. I prefer that they didn't find a reanimate here. Oh, that Wasteland's really good. Okay, we found the answer to why are they holding their Dazes. Oh, but then they took out the Cavern. But the Dazes are probably gone. They just Brainstormed. Okay, we're back to normal. I can't block this. And now I'm going to play Myco Spawn and ramp out probably Eye of Ugin. Wow, multiples. Good stuff. Can't kick it this turn. I can kick it next turn. City of Traders is when you play a land, not when a land comes into play. An important distinction here. Eye of Ugin does more. Yeah, Eye of Ugin is way better if it stays in play than Eldrazi Temple, because Eye of Ugin taps for 2 per spell you're planning on casting that turn. Functionally, it represents that. It doesn't tap for anything. Or it taps for green, but it reduces your... It represents 2 mana per spell you plan on casting in a turn, rather than just 2 mana. Obviously blocking. Can't just keep taking beats here. We're starting to get control. We'll see what that Brainstorm was good for. Like, Orcish Bowmaster could kill this now. Just thinking about cards that might be in their deck. Yeah, that's pretty good. But hopefully I'm starting to turn the corner to a spot where that doesn't matter. That's like randomly good against Null Drifter. That's annoying. Reanimating Grief. Okay. This gets to... Well, now I have multiple gigantic messed up things to do, so I don't even care. I think they were supposed to reanimate Null Drifter there. I am over the hump right now. I can start dropping 6/6s that kill their permanents. Yep, Devourer of Destiny. Eldrazi, green, colorless, green. I'm going to exile the Bowmaster or Grief. Grief's harder to block. I would like to cast my Null Drifter at some point, but I'll get rid of the Grief. Wow. Okay. I felt like I was behind, but inexorably, we just cranked forward and forward. I do have Leyline of the Voids. I don't know if I want to be doing that. I didn't see like the crazy Atraxa stuff going on. And the fact they're playing multiple Stifles leads me to believe that this might not be traditional Rescaminator. Thorn of Amethyst probably really good against their deck. Dismember, not irrelevant against their deck. I don't think I care about these things. The Null Drifter actually seems super risky versus the Reanimates and the Bowmasters. I like the Thorns. My deck is just all creatures except for Kozilek's Command. Do I want Dismembers in, or do I just want to outmuscle them? My shit's bigger. Good luck. Here we go. If I see an Atraxa or an Archon of Cruelty this game, I'll bring in the Leylines for game 3. Okay, so we've got Devourer and a bunch of low-to-the-ground stuff. I will keep. Devourer being a 7-drop, I've played against it a bunch of times. This is my first time playing with it. 7 seems like the perfect number that it's not complete nonsense to be in your opening hand, and it is castable later. Like, if it costs like 5, it would be like, come on, that's just free. Settle down, Wizards. But 7 is attainable. I think like even 8 would be kind of a stretch. They really hit the numbers well on this thing. Okay, that is incredible. I love Eye of Ugin. I love Eldrazi Temple. So the problem with Eye of Ugin is it doesn't actually make any mana on its own, and I can't sack Lotus Petal for colorless. Because Glaring Fleshraker costs 1 with Eye in play. If I think I'm going to get multiple turns here without getting wasted, the Eye will be better. But if I just kind of play to the aggregate situation, Eldrazi Temple will be better. All right, I'll take Temple. Temple, Petal. If I play Fleshraker first, it opens me up to Daze, but I can cast Chalice of the Void afterwards. I'm going to try to just do the most. Would be suck to get dazed here, but it's so insane if I don't. Okay, they got me. I'll just try that same turn again next turn. Because Lotus Petal is a colorless spell that triggers Fleshraker. Alright, I won't play the same turn next turn. Fleshraker triggers off Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal and Spawn make mana. That gives me Chalice, which also deals another 1 to them and makes another Spawn. They took Devourer. Does that mean they're going to reanimate it right now? Because I'm not scared of that card. They went for the Grief. So their plan is to take all of my action. Okay, now we just need to top deck a threat. Easy game. Wasteland. I'm going to go Temple, Petal, Chalice on 1. Now I'll start playing around Daze, because I'm very smart. The sequencing of turn 1 was really interesting to me, or at least an interesting case study in learning how to play different decks, because if I'm some kind of control deck, I would never play into Daze there, but I'm just like, YOLO squigglies, here come the Eldrazi shit, and I just shoved into Daze. Maybe I'm supposed to Chalice first and not even be thinking about Fleshraker. Spawn, some spawn, spawn, spawn. Okay, I get the land on cast, regardless. Okay, so they Force of Willed, pitching Psychic Frog. I could tutor Wasteland here, but I think that's probably terrible. Like, putting them to 0 mana while I have Chalice on 1 is fine, but leaving myself on 3 mana when I already have a Wasteland in play, I think it's Cavern. That just makes sure that I have colors if I draw another Myco Spawn. I just have to stabilize versus this Grief, and we're way ahead, but I have no cards in my hand to do that with. Thorn of Amethyst, okay. Thorn on the stack. I'm not going to Wasteland them. I need my mana more than I need them to not have mana. If I draw one of my 4s, I got to be able to cast it. Running out of time, though. Yavimaya. Okay, that means I can Wasteland them. Okay, they're not casting spells this game, but I am going to have to figure this out. Okay, I have a creature. It that heralds the end. I don't need to tap Cavern to do that because I have Thorn in play. They can't force anyway. Now I just need a creature in my next 2 draw steps and we're stable. Oh no, oh no. 1 draw left. Might as well attack, can't block. And with It That Heralds reduction, even drawing the Devourer works here. Just need literally a creature. A creature. A creature. A creature. That does it. Here's that boy. Double block, GG. Okay, yeah, they're deeply in the shit here. They haven't had a land for the entire game. They're under Thorn and Chalice. Okay, now they're just not attacking. Probably smart. All right, turn it around. Something good. Oh my god, you're so dead. I'm going to exile the... Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, no, this is not reduced. I'm going to exile the Polluted Delta just to force the action on it. I'm not doing anything else with this mana this turn. Yep, might as well fetch. I get to tutor a land now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty far away from Eye of Ugin. I think I just get Wasteland here and splatter them. I'm not going to Wasteland yet because they could still Daze. Now I'm going to Wasteland. That is exactly the sequence that I wanted when I registered this deck. That is exactly what I said the deck I wanted to be doing to people. Not going to attack just yet. I could have chipped for 3 pretty safely here. Yeah, they're just down to nothing. Last attack stabilized. Eldrazi life, let's go. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I am on the play in round 2. Unfortunately, Ayabugan is the land I can't keep this hand with. If this was Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, whatever. But mulligan as it is. Turn 1 Fleshraker with the quads, Thought Not Seer, but I have no follow-up. Do you just keep this and hope you draw a land? Let's actually do math. Okay, so we've got 3, 4, 8, 11 really good draws. It's just the other soul lands. I think this is a mulligan. Okay, here we go. Keep this one. I'm going to get rid of probably Null Drifter. God, I wish I just had this on 7. Putting 2 of these cards back sucks. I think it's Null Drifter and one of the Caverns that go back. Or I could bottom the Lotus Petal, not turn 1 the Fleshraker. Yeah, I think I'm just going to slow my curve down a little bit. I'm going to Cavern on Eldrazi and pass, unfortunately. Another Underground Sea. Oh, this is Bob Wong. Good to know. Grizzle Puff. Okay, clearly what I drew this turn, but I think it is the correct thing to play. Brainstorm in response. Now or never. This is also the only card you're going to get to Force of Will, unless you come up with a Wasteland. We're in there. Cycling Troll. We know it's not getting reanimated. It could be animate deaded in the future, but Entombs were just turned off. Also just tutored for a land that's not Wasteland. Doesn't mean he doesn't have one. Okay, does have it. That's fine. I got lands to make. Cavern on Eldrazi. Okay, next turn I could play Fleshraker. If I draw a soul land, Thought Not Seer is coming down first. We tutored for the Thunder City Steward, still hasn't used it. Could animate dead here. Then I'm under a real clock. Animate dead. Confirmed. Trolls in play. Null Drifter. Someday. Okay, a color for Eldrazi, a colorless for this spell, so I can cast it legally. And I get a couple draw steps to figure out what I'm doing about this. Can't block, I'm at 13. Here's the Sewers. Saw that tutored for 3 turns ago, it's finally in play. Kept the card on top. Psychic Frog, that card's really good. Okay, It That Heralds the End makes a spawn. It does not net enough actual mana to be worth doing here. I think I just have to Null Drifter with Evoke. I don't like it, but I think it's what I got. Because I could still hit a land off of this that casts It That Heralds. We are doing some damage. Wasteland. That does cast Herald with the help of the spawn. Wasteland. Play Herald. This is open to daze because I had to tap my Caverns the first time around. Resolve, though. We're in there. 5 cards in hand. I think they would very easily discard enough cards to kill Glaring Fleshraker if I attack right now. I can trade off my entire squad for Troll of Khazad-dûm. Or I could just put Eldrazi Spawn in front of Psychic Frog. Make them discard a card to get a trade. Or not a trade, and eat. Or they could just touch butts and we keep playing. The Fleshraker pooping out random bodies actually is really good at stopping Troll, because it's not actually unblockable. You need 3 creatures, which feels unblockable in Legacy, but I have that many now. JK, I'm getting my thoughts nodded first. Frog can be a 5/6 right now, which means I can triple block it and kill it. I don't think I want to, though. Okay, just giving it flying. All right, then I don't have a choice. Can still be a 5/6. If I triple block Troll, it kills everything except Eldrazi Spawn. Alright, I'm going to take my chances. Put me to 3 if you like. Entomb discarded. Brainstorm discarded. Psychic Frog is really good at doing that, because it converts cards that are locked out in prison matchups into power and toughness, which is what prison matchups don't want you to have. Now I'm basically dead. I needed that to be something good, and it wasn't. I could play Chalice, make a spawn that deals 1, then I attack and I get through for 3. That's not 15. Okay, yeah, Mull to 5 rough came out a little too slow there. I feel like this is more likely to be the classic Rescaminator. Null Drifter is risky. Leyline seems good. Or if I'm just on the play, I could max out on Chalice plus Thorn. Dismember actually looks good here. You can probably shave on Devourers. Yeah, alright. This makes sense to me. I don't like Leyline, because it's just such a bad draw and incentivizes weird mulligans in a matchup where you just want to keep 7 if you can. Okay, on the play now, I have a turn 1 Thorn of Amethyst. I'll keep this. We can still pitch Grief into Thorn of Amethyst, but my hand is all mana, and then we just top decking from there, which I'd kind of rather have mana and need the top of my deck to be spells in this deck than have a handful of spells and no mana. Grief's still happening, pitched in Entomb. Seize the Wasteland. Wasteland is my only action. I'm going to take it. Okay, garbage time. Underground Sea. Kozilek's Command. This can exile Grief from the graveyard exactly. I can X equals 1 because of Thorn of Amethyst, which means I can make a spawn or draw a card and exile Grief. I think I'm just going to go to my turn. Pistol Land Drop didn't do anything. Cavern on Eldrazi. Now I can scry 2 or make 2 spawns or play around Daze. Undercity Sewers. This unlocks Reanimate. If you spend 2 mana to reanimate, then you can't Daze or Force. The Raker. Cavern on Eldrazi. If I play Raker, I can't Kozilek's Command for any value of X, so I'm going to wait a turn. Just got to 2 mana over there. This is where Reanimate will happen if that's going to happen. And I would like to blow it out. Okay, if they pass again, then I can play Raker. Oh, Herald. Sick. Cavern on Eldrazi, number 3. Blue, 1/2. Raker. And I can still Kozilek's Command for 1, which is the number that I need to do at minimum. And step in Tomb, okay. Bin an Archon. Okay, please don't draw a land. As if opponent draws a land, they're representing Force of Will backup. Alright. Had the land. Please cast Animate Dead. Tap out for this. Tap out for this. Let's go. Alright. Kozilek's Command. Exile up to X cards from graveyards, and I'd rather draw cards here than do anything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. X is 1. That's all I needed. Patience paid off. Got a very good exchange here. And I scry Chalice of the Void to the bottom. Or do I want this? No, I'd rather have a creature. Wasteland's good too, though. Thought Not Seer, what's up? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'll leave 1 floating. Tell me your secrets, and then die. Taking damage, I'm getting dinguses. Another animate, a reanimate. Brainstorm Ponder. Turns out that Chalice would have actually been pretty good. I'm going to take the reanimate, because with this Wasteland's help, it's not going to matter. The Animate Dead is not going to matter. And I'm going to be super annoying and Wasteland after combat. This doesn't affect the game, it's just funny that it's like, oh, yeah, you had that too. Cool. I feel good about this game. Cool. Patience on the Kozilek's Command was everything there. Now I'm on the draw, where I think Thorn of Amethyst is worse. I could just change these lock pieces into these lock pieces and call it a day. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I have to think about Leyline when I'm mulliganing. Can still reanimate from my graveyard, but at least Archon and Atrax are off the table. Okay, we've got a Leyline hand with turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 It That Heralds. Great keep, great keep. I could also just Wasteland him a bunch of times. This is a really annoying hand to play against. Opponent mulled to 6. Basic Island. I will not be Wastelanding this turn. I will be casting Chalice of the Void, though. Ponder shuffled. And this is why Leylines are not good Magic cards. Now I have this blank in my hand for the rest of time. Chalice resolved. Let's go. It could just play Psychic Frog here, and I'm in the trash. Basic Swamp. Okay. Both basics in the deck, down and dirty, no fetch. Here they are. Filigree Silex. Okay, that can kill Chalice of the Void. Yeah, I'll play Cavern on Eldrazi and get this homie into play. Might as well make it uncounterable. I don't think there is an interaction here with Kozilek's command. Like, I don't think that I can Kozilek's command for 7+ and get a free X off of it. Like, I just don't think the sequencing of when that heralds would check the mana value of the card could affect that. Because its mana value is 2 in my hand, and once it's on the stack is when its mana value becomes something else, at which point I would have already had to pay for it. Yeah, there's no synergy here. We've got a Brainstorm, could just get hit with something here. Didn't happen. Oh, TKS. TKS, that boy don't miss. I just made that up. Was that fun? Or cringe? It felt cringe, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'll take Engineered Explosives because I don't give a shit about any of the other cards in this hand. Okay, fetching in response. This is probably going to get a Sewers and just select for something or other. Bin to reanimate. And by bin, I mean exile. No play, pass. I'm going to Wasteland Undercity Sewers right now before anything else even happens. And I'll play out my Lotus Petal just in case I need to make a bigger K command. Ew, I hate calling that K command. I apologize to James Casau and the rest of the Grixis community for saying K command right now. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually do have lethal here if I'm willing to shove into this Force of Will. Or I could just be patient. Probably should have shoved in. Because what else am I doing with any of this? I guess if a creature comes in. Like if they have Bowmaster here, the command is really good. Cycling Troll. Okay, so he's trying to do something with 3 mana right now. Because the reason to do that when it happened was to play around Wasteland. Because that was clearly in the hand. Sick. Alright, just light prison elements and deal 20 to you. Love to see it. On to the next round. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the draw in round 3. I think my hand is fine. I will keep it. I have turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 Fleshraker. Ooh, Once Upon a Time. Urza's Tower, let's go. Legacy Urzatron versus whatever this is I'm doing. I actually think it's correct to Chalice to the Void because I'm not going to have any ones, but if they have Expedition Maps or Ancient Stirrings or whatever, like I don't even know what Legacy Tron is constructed like, but I'm going to be annoying about it. I can drop Fleshraker next turn, and then maybe also something else if I draw a 3 or less drop. Disruptor Flute, okay. Naming Wasteland, almost certainly. Thought-Knot's here, okay. Make that cost 6. NBD. I have Ugin. Fleshraker with an Eldrazi colorless floating. Lotus Petal, trigger. And I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I could evoke a Null Drifter here. Or I could just hardcast it next turn. That mana just escalates, though. Yeah, I'd rather hardcast Null Drifter and really do the thing. If you start annihilating Tron's permanents, they die pretty quick. Echoing Deeps with no copy, that's just a non-basic waste. Another Flute. There's no chance they name Null Drifter. I don't believe it. Is this one going to name Wasteland? They could name Thought-Knot's here again and make it cost 2 more. Okay, this one's on Wasteland. Good call. That was eventually going to happen. All right, big Nully for the 7. Well, the 5. You know what I meant, though. Here it comes. Raking your flesh along the way. And attack for 2. Didn't draw a 3 or 4 drop to cast, but I'm going to start annihilating their life next turn. Forest. A 1 ring, pretty solid. I could still annihilate them. And I could still draw a bunch of cards. Okay, Eldrazi Temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Null Drifter with 1 colorless floating. They don't take damage because they have protection. I draw 2 cards. Another Fleshraker. Do I want to rake flesh now or wait? I think in case they have a sweeper, I'm just going to annihilate them. And then we'll wait a turn and see what's going on. Because I could play this Raker next turn. It's not a big deal. Just have to fade. I don't know what sweeper they'd have. Like, All Is Dust doesn't work against me. They don't have the mana for Oblivion Stone. Planar Nexus. That turns on all the Tron lands. Now they have the mana for Oblivion Stone. That was a hot rip. Myco Spawn. Okay. And they're exiling my Eye of Ugin, which I have another copy in my hand of. That's fine. Let's see what land they get here. Is it something that messes me up? If they have like a Glacial Chasm or something that really slows my roll, that would be disappointing. They could just get another Urza's Tower and cast a 5-drop. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, they sacked the Disruptor Flute on Wasteland, though. There was probably a sequence where if I just don't play the Eldrazi Temple, I Null Drifter into Wasteland, I attack, maybe they sack this, and then I'm good. Like, I can waste their Planar Nexus. I don't know, we'll see. Big turn coming. My own Myco Spawn. Okay. I think I go to combat first and make them sacrifice 2 permanents, and then I show them what I'm actually working with second main. Null Drifters get in. This is 8 damage and 2 annihilates. Sack the Disruptor Flute and the One Ring. And then, now what happens? I have 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. I still have my land drop. I think I want to wasteland them multiple times here. Fleshraker is kind of free, though. Right, so Fleshraker... Okay, yeah. I'm going to cast Fleshraker first, which will recoup 1 mana. And then I'll play Chalice on 0, which will recoup all the other mana that I spent on that. And then I can actually just burn them out here. Don't even need to do all that other stuff. Yeah, they're dead. Don't even need to show them the spawn or the wastelands. Cool. That was sweet. Not the matchup I thought I'd see here in the Legacy queues, but I mean, I think Null Rod comes in and nothing else. Probably over Chalice of the Void. Disruptor Flute, though, I could name things like Oblivion Stone or Karn the Great Creator. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably better than Chalice in any number, even though I think they're more likely to have 1-drops in their deck than I am. This hand is pretty bad. Do I count on Devourer of Destinies to hard carry? I don't think so. I think it's just mulligan. Okay, I like this hand a lot. I will keep this, and Kozilek's Command carries me into the mid-game. It's Flute or Petal that I get rid of here. I think it's Flute. Because I got kind of the aggro run here of It That Heralds, which makes my Fleshraker meaner, and then Kozilek's Command for a giant burst of damage after that. Cloud Post revealed. Okay, they're posting up. Got 2 mana right now. They'll have 4 starting next turn. I think I'm okay giving them access to green to save 2 damage here. Raker. Petal triggers Raker. I can Kozilek's Command for 0 right now, which is a colorless spell, in case that becomes relevant. I can cast Null Drifter, just full hardcast Null Drifter next turn. But they do have 3, 6, 7 mana right now. And me without a Wasteland or a Sowing Myco Spawn. What's the payoff? You're spawning me. That Robert De Niro voice. You're spawning me? And the Wasteland. Okay, they're doing their damn thing. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Okay. And my Yavimaya made that possible because I gave them green. I blew it! Okay, I can evoke Null Drifter for 2 because it has mana value 7. Even if I pay the evoke cost, it costs 1 less. I don't have 6 to actually cast it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna evoke this, leave 1 floating, and then I'll have 2 spawns I can sack if I draw something that costs 3, which there is nothing of in my deck. That's not true. I have other Fleshrakers. I could command for 1 right now. That doesn't do anything. Okay. I found a Wasteland, probably too late, but we'll see what happens this turn. Another green source and 7 mana. Making it rain Myco spawns. Yeah, definitely too late for Wasteland. Oh, sick. I don't have to concede to this because the spawns can actually keep me alive a little bit. I'm in a bad spot, though. Okay, Tabernacle triggers. Make a colorless, make a colorless. Don't pay for the spawn that's already dead. Don't pay for this spawn that's already dead either. I will pay for these things. I can Wasteland the Tabernacle. And I'm still just way behind. All right, I just don't even want to play this game anymore. They came out way too strong. I think they just lose if I wasteland them, but they broke the dam. My Yavimaya turned on their green. Okay. I don't think anything changes about my sideboard strategy. Maybe Dismember could punch damage through. Yeah, I'm not trying to flute them. The things I would name are also in my deck. All right, Dismember. Maybe I can cheese damage through if they just play a 3/3 onto a board. I'll keep this. Turn 1 Herald, turn 2 Kumar. That's my new name for Thought Not Seer in the context of this deck. And looking for green to get Myco Spawn going. A Herald, get in. A Forest, okay. There's my green source. I'm going to Thought Not you first. I want to know what's going on over there. Crop rotations, what's going on over there. Getting Planar Nexus, which turns on all their land stuff. Yeah, I'll take Karn. Tower Deep. Yeah, Karn. That card looks really good. And I'm going to attack with Herald. And then we'll see if they have the heads up wherewithal to flute Sowing Myco Spawn right now. Flute. Maybe names Wasteland, because that's also bad for them. Null Drifter. Nope. That's not going to stop the fury that's headed your way right now. Now it's my turn to Myco Spawn. Play draw in Eldrazi Mirrors. Are we having fun yet? See that green enter the mana pool? They already know what's going on. Exile this land. Tutor Wasteland. Can we stop playing now? That's so stupid. Makes me really happy when it's me doing it, though. Opponent gave me the GGs and asked for more Modern Legacy videos. I promise, every day. Including this one. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4. My opponent's username is Noodleboy. I'm something of a noodle boy myself today. This hand is really slow. I think I could do better. I think I've done better. I'll keep this in bottom, the redundant Eye of Ugin. A Mountain. Mox Opal. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. We appear to be against some sort of painter strategy. That card would be good to cast, but I can't do that. I'm going to play Eldrazi Temple and ship it. Chalice on 0. It's too late for that. Yeah, that's not going to matter. All right, I'll just pass. My lands are safe from Wasteland. Painter decks don't usually main deck Blood Moon these days because of Urza Saga. And there it is. Unlicensed Hearse. That's a lot of graveyard hate. They are built for the metagame, but I'm not providing the metagame here. I'm providing my own shit. I think I play Flesh Raker now and start spawning their Saga next turn. I could Chalice on 0 to get a spawn into play, but that doesn't matter. And it might turn off my own Lotus Petals off the top. Painter doesn't play that many 0s these days. It's usually like 1 or 2 Mox Opals to tutor for, and theirs is already in play. A Lightning Bolt. You got me. And exile my creature. For good measure. Oh, I can't exile Urza Saga. I have to Wasteland it. Don't have quite enough mana. Oh, wait, do I? No, I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm 1 short. Oh, if I had played the Chalice on 0. Yeah, I should have counted better, because it actually was there. All right, Cavern on Eldrazi. Cast the Spawn. Tutor Wasteland. I know I have a Wasteland in hand already, but I would rather add the 3/3 to my board. Yeah, you get a 4/4. Because of Mox Opal, going after Ancient Tomb doesn't make sense there. They could still make the constructs. Yeah, I can kick Sowing Myco Spawn next turn, if that matters. And then it's going to be about getting stats bigger than theirs before they can combo kill me. And unlike previous Eldrazi strategies, this one does not have Emrakul at the top end, so Painter actually does just get me. Okay, now I have 6 mana all day. Myco spawn Con Queso. I'm going to exile Ancient Tomb and Wasteland Ancient Tomb. They floated the mana, terrifying. You get Wasteland. Gonna try to move phases and see what they're floating this mana for. Silkenzon. Okay. I'll Wasteland the Ancient Tomb now, also. The Silkenzon creatures can crew unlicensed Hearse, so they are relevant. But these bodies are not important to me anymore. I can use them to stabilize. Yeah, they are ramping up their Hearse, though. If I find an actual green source, I'm holding Boseiju. Goblin Engineer, suddenly. Something real is happening. I couldn't exile the Mountain because they have Mox Opal anyway. I'm not actually taking them off a color. Okay, the Hearse is awake. I think I want to double block the Hearse, because that also shrinks the construct into a spot where I can trade with it 1-for-1 next turn. Yuck. Okay. Kind of running out of stuff to do here. I'm quite a ways away from activating Eye of Ugin. Chalice on 1 does affect their deck a little bit, but they can Phyrexian Dragon Engine now. Yeah, we're falling behind. That Goblin Engineer was a huge hit. Yeah, the Spirits are attacking. Yeah, I'll block a Spirit. I think having the body on board remains useful, especially with this double strike creature just waiting in their graveyard. They flip Mox Opal into Dragon Engine. This is going to draw 3 cards. Discarded 2 1-drops. Played a Mountain. All right, come on. Big stupid spell. Give me Null Drifter. Give me something that does something. That's not it. Not a green source either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm still 1 short of activating Eye. Yep, falling behind big time here. They can put me to 2 if they just attack with everything, and then Ancient Tomb doesn't work anymore. Okay, they left Engineer home. 4, 5. I'm going to trade with Construct. I think that's better than putting Dragon Engine back in the graveyard where they can use it more. Come on, big draws, big creature. Ooh, okay. Exile target creature with mana value X or less. Exile up to X target cards from graveyards. Or just make a shitload of blockers and draw some cards. Or draw a card. That's probably what I'm going to do here. Okay, big draw. I like that one. Popping Soul Guide Lantern in the end step. Yeah, I think my game here is blockers plus card selection, or I could clear the Engineer and make a bunch of blockers. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because X is automatically 2. This isn't Eldrazi. I think I want to scry X and draw a card. I think that is higher impact than taking out the Goblin Engineer. And target player creates a bunch of 0/1s. Yeah, these are what I'm going to do. Target myself for both modes. X is 7. Make 7 Chumpos. And then scry 7, draw a card. Should be able to find some action in my top 7. You would think. There's another command here. Bottom. Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm actually going to bottom almost all of these cards. Actually, I think literally all of them. And I'll keep the command on top. Okay. Block here and here. I don't want to go to 2 because that's an Ancient Tomb activation, which might actually change the game. I probably could have kept that Herald to make my squad bigger. Okay. Because you're a real card. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This exiles the Goblin Engineer on arrival. Something's happening. Might just be activating it. Okay, they're flipping into Soul Guide Lantern, probably just looking for a draw here. Exiling my Sowing Myco spawn. I've got a 6/6. And I'm going to Wasteland the Ancient Tomb before it can escape or unearth this Phyrexian. Dragon Engine. 5, 6. I can command for a bunch. I still think it's better to hold Boseiju than to play it out as a land. I'll find a green source eventually, then we're actually doing stuff. Lantern, draw a card. I can exile a Painter here if they somehow get a Grindstone into play through my Chalice. They are simply passing the turn. Another one. Well, in for 6, I suppose. We'll start there. There are no colored permanents for Devourer of Destiny to exile. It's just a 5-mana 6/6. And I think that holding the command is better than playing that out. You know their deck has Lightning Bolt in it as well, so we have to respect the Chalice at all costs. They pitched a Spirit Guide to Unearth Dragon Engine. Can exile this, but do I care? I could just exile their whole graveyard and select a bunch of cards. I think making spawns is more fun, though. Because I can sack the spawns to activate Eye of Ugin. Do I care about this? Nope. I've telegraphed my card, but it doesn't matter. You can have a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I don't care. Discard your hand, draw 3 new cards. 3 1-drops discarded. Painter's Servant, exiling Simian Spirit Guide. Okay. Now I'm glad I waited, because I would like to exile that more than the dragon. And the block is even free here. Like, my X gets bigger because I waited. Okay. Exile target creature with mana value X or less. I'm going to do that one, and the Scry one. Scry X, draw a card, exile target creature. Target me with that, target Painter with this. Opponent said my Chalice has been really good. Yeah, for sure. It tends to be really good against Painter decks. Oh, no! This spell isn't colorless anymore. Okay, well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'm just doing it for 3 then. Because it doesn't get any other bonuses. That's a really interesting interaction. Okay, target me, target Painter. I can still do this. It's just significantly smaller than I would have hoped. Don't want Petals. Love Myco Spawn. This dragon gets exiled in the end step. Myco Spawn can turn on my green. And now I can also attack. 1, 2. I guess Devourer could have also killed Painter if I just go to my turn and untap. Yeah, I might have spewed off there. Just getting excited. There's so many fun Eldrazi things happening. With Kicker. Exile the mountain. I have 1 Wasteland left. And I believe that is the correct thing to get. Keep knocking you off. Herald. Bash for lethal. In forced block, not actually lethal, but you're required to block here. Sweet. That was fun. Okay. Chalice is good. Null Rod's good. Disruptor Flute has a lot of things to name in this matchup. Do I have cuts that I'm interested in? Could shave off some Devourers. 2 Devourers make room for 2 Null Rods. I could shave a Null Drifter for a Flute. Dismember isn't bad here either. Is Dismember better than Flute? That's actually close. I do also need to solve or be bigger than constructs. And if their constructs start to become 5/5s, it's really hard for me to be bigger than them. I think I want more flutes. I'm going to shave another Devourer. Herald isn't that important to this matchup. Okay. Disruptive, lock pieces in, and the more clunky creatures out. I have a Null Rod, but it won't come down until turn 2. I think this is fine. I'm going to keep. Mountain, Welder, Cavern on Eldrazi, and pass. Let's hope this Null Rod isn't too late. Painter. Well, now they can blast Null Rod. Cavern on Eldrazi again. I'm going to deploy the Null Rod. It resolved. A little worried I haven't found a land yet. I would have hoped that that would happen by now. And as long as Painter's in play, Eye of Ugin's a brick. Soul Guide Lantern. No abilities at all. Not even a card to enter on ETB. It can flip into different artifacts, though, with Welder. So it is relevant material, I suppose. Yuck. Okay. I can play it that heralds, or I can hold up Flute. I think I want to hold up the Flute. These Painter Servant beats haven't scared me off yet. Zokanzan as a land. Second Welder, let's go. Flute is now good for multiple permanents. As soon as I play this Flute, the Welders start attacking, though, which does unlock 2 damage that they've been reluctant to get in the mix. But it's fine. I can play a 2/2, or better this turn. They counter the Flute, which means they can weld Null Rod into Flute, but then I get to name a card with Flute. I'm not interested in the second Null Rod more than I am in stymieing the beats here. Wild run of no mana here, though. Okay, opponent is Hellbent, and has 3 power in play, and no permanents that can be activated. Backup Painter, okay. It's interesting that the Welders aren't attacking. Like, what are we holding those for? And I appreciate the no clock. Alright, sick. I can cast Fleshraker now, or I can start exiling Welders, but I'm just going to get Fleshraker in. This also doesn't trigger anymore because Painter's in play. Running amok on me with the passive ability of Painter Servant. Wild stuff. Okay, I will name Goblin Welder with this flute that's now in play. And if they rip Grindstone right now, you got me. I'm not going to play around ripping like 2 outer from Hellbent, especially when I have a second Null Rod in play, or in hand. Simian Spirit Guide. They understand what this game is about. I'll block one of these. As good as it gets. Boseiju. Okay. Play this. And I can Kozilek's Command to start exiling stuff. Or I could get Null Rod in now and just make sure I don't die off the top. I'm going to check my box here. I have time to drop Null Rod. Then I can play the 3/3 next turn, and then I have the biggest creature in play, and we're chilling. They're pushing 3 damage across. Yeah, if they had been in with the Goblin Welders the whole time, that was what, like 5 damage? Could be at 8 instead. This is going to put a dragon in there. It's a really good card to have access to right now. But they don't have to have access to it. I could just command it. Exile target creature, exile cards and graveyards. Okay, yeah. I'm going to exile Painter's Servant and the 2 artifacts from their graveyard. Just doing this right now before it's relevant. Starting to work through the Painters because they are turning off my synergies in my deck. They're also pushing damage. So Painter just a rock star here, despite Grindstone not being available. I go to 11 on this attack. Also, if I sandbag the Mycos Bond longer, I'm insulated if they top deck Urza's Saga. It's a card I'm worried about. All right, another Welder. Thought Not Seer. That is enormous. Let me see those thoughts, and then you're done attacking, and then I can start to get control. Portal to Phyrexia, holy smokes. Yeah, that's a scary card to have. It's gone, though. A Pyroblast is live to kill Thought Not Seer. All right, just another ape. Cool. All right, I can clear the other Painter this turn, which unlocks so many things with this Eye of Ugin that I just drew. Okay, Eye of Ugin, Kozilek's Command, exile target creature, and they can't flip it with Goblin Engineer because there's no artifacts in the graveyard. Do I want the dopes or do I want to scry X? I think I want the dopes. X equals 2. I've got the dummies. My cards are colorless again, which basically unlocks 4 mana from the board or more. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unlocks 6 mana immediately on the board. And a win con. Eldrazi Control. Okay. Suddenly have a lot to work with here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Spawn Conqueso. Triggers all these things. Exile Ancient Tomb. I think here I tutor a Wasteland, but I don't use it. Just save that for Urza's Saga. Fleshraker going to town. If that heralds, makes my creatures into real creatures. I'm a real boy. I could play Thought Not Seer. Costs me 2 spawns, or 1 spawn. Oh yeah, that's great. Basically free. They're just giving it away. And I can still Kozilek's Command for kind of a lot right now. Arena of Glory. That gives a creature haste that is cast with it. Kozilek's Command is good for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I can X equals 4. These don't have to be... You don't have to tap those to sacrifice them. Okay, I'm coming in. Full aggro. They're piling up huge blocks on Thought Not Seer. Yeah, they're functionally at 2 because I can 4-ball them. Okay, that's the blocking order. That's the blocking order. 1, 2. Oh, they blocked really well here, actually, to not die. I should rake. All right, I know what I'm going to do. All right, 1, 2, Kozilek's Command, exile the Goblin Welder that's blocking Thought Not Seer, and make 2 dopes. I make 2 dopes, exile this Goblin Welder. This will put them to 2, or it'll put them to 1 because I get the cast trigger as well. My Thought Not Seer is still alive. They lose everything except 1 Goblin Welder that doesn't work. Okay, sweet. Feeling good. We got the GGs and a Pyroblast on my colorless creature. That was actually a lot of fun. That was the most interesting Eldrazi game I have ever played or seen in my life. On to the final trophy round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the draw, in the final trophy round, opponent kept 7. My hand can play 2 It That Heralds and then not really do anything. I think I'm going to mulligan this. I just want to explode harder than that. It is the human condition to want to explode as hard as possible. This hand is weird, but I think it's actually defensible because double Wasteland rules, I can evoke Null Drifter on 2. I have access to green. Opponent said it would be fun to see me ruin their trophy on YouTube. Well, it would be fun for me to trophy on YouTube, so you could just concede and have fun for everyone. Okay. Do I want this forest, or do I want to get rid of a Wasteland or Temple? I think I want to bottom a Wasteland and have access to colors, because the Myco spawns do matter a lot. A mountain, okay. Oh, we're doing this again. Oh no, that's a lot of these. Oh, this could be Red Prison. Oh no. Can't imagine I have any game versus Ruby Storm. Alright, well. F6, homie. Good luck. I might just lose on turn 1. Another Manamorphose. They've got 3 cards in hand. They won the flip, but it might be too early to flip Ral. Nope, they did it. Okay. Ral comes in with loyalty equal to 2 plus the number of instants and sorceries you've cast this turn. So if you have cast 6 already, Ral then becomes Mind's Desire. So there is some like pro and con to doing it that way. Oh wow, they sack their Vexing Bauble to try to keep the party going, and I have double Lotus Petal in my hand. Okay. Lotus Petal, Eldrazi Temple, evoke Null Drifter. I just need cards to happen here. Ancient Tomb. This is a pretty bad hand, and their land is basic. They did whiff, but they have 4 cards in hand, and they have a cost reducer. Ral plus. Yeah, they might just get him to 8 the hard way, if I can't come up with a way to pressure. Oh, I can just exile it next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. Fingers crossed. If I can exile this Rail with Devourer, I will feel very good. But 4 cards in hand is a lot. Plus the Ral. Please pass, please pass, please pass. Oh no. Ren's Resolve. Are we dead? 2 lands, 2 lands, 2 lands. Wee-oo. Not a drill. They played the mountain. I'm going to get the exile Ral. This is so big. Ooh, and Chalice of the Void. I get to keep a Lotus Petal if I lose 2 life to Ancient Tomb. That's worth it. Okay, I'm coming to devour your destiny here. Ral, get out of here. This Chalice will be good. I think 2 is the correct number to put it on next turn. They can play Ancient Tomb. Reckless Impulse flip 2 more lands. Wow, this is rough. I mean, it's good for me, but I feel for my opponent right now. Okay, I'm going to Wasteland them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is losing Lotus Petal or losing 2 life worse for me? Because I would hate to just get, like, small Grape Shotted. Like a mini Grape Shot that just deals 8 because I've tapped Ancient Tomb too much and then I lose. A Vexing, or Chalice of the Void on 2 turns off Reckless Impulse, Ren's Resolve, Ruby, Ral. Most of the things in this deck. Burning Wish. Ooh, show me your secrets. Okay, big thoughts coming in. Saving my land drop. Jessica's Will bonus round. The Wish is already locked out. Bonus round does overcome Chalice. Yeah, I think I want to leave them with the Jessica's Will. And a Denial. Alright, you're dead on board. J-Will's gotta pay the J-Bills. Ren's Resolve straight into the Chalice and Scoop. Okay, wow. Did not think I was winning that game. Dodged big time. Caracas clears Ral. Dismember clears Ral. Thorns cancel Ral. Chalice on 2 is big. And I love sowing Myco Spawn. I just think it's wrong here. They did show me 2 Lotus Petals also. I guess Null Rod should be considered. We saw bonus round, which probably means they're not doing Past in Flames stuff. Yeah, I'll hold on that. Devourer is really good, gives me a ton of selection to find one of these hate pieces that I'm probably going to need on turn 1. Like that game they just whiffed, I was going to lose for sure if they just kept their chain going on turn 1. The Null Drifters can come out. Thought not one of my best cards. Herald's pretty good. Herald's mid. Myco Spawn's also mid. It's funny that I called it mid, because its effect is mid on the game, but it's also my mid-game plan. And the 3/3 and the ability to get yourself up into 6 and 7 is part of what's going on here. I actually think I don't need any It That Heralds the Ends. This is not really about creature combat, at least not in terms of turning my spawns into attackers. Disruptor Flute even could be useful. Like if I see a card flipped off of a Rent's Resolve and I can name it and make it cost more. That seems so slim though. Yeah, I think I'm chopping on Myco Spawn and just bringing in this pile of potentially interactive cards. Eldrazi is historically phenomenal versus Storm though. This is not a matchup that the old Ad Nauseam Tendrils players wanted to see ever. Opponent kept 7. My hand doesn't do anything on 1. But this is one of the cards I really want to see on 2. I'm going to mulligan. I think I have to be better and faster than that. Look at this. Rewarded with the mulligan with the Stone Nut. I think I want to get rid of Null Rod out of the spread of cards, because the Null Rod turns off my Lotus Petal, which makes my life worse. Okay, Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal first, and then play Thorn of Amethyst. I think that's better than Chalice. Chalice I want to have on 2 for this matchup. They pass the turn, probably with a Ruby Medallion in hand. Boo, boo. All right. I will reap what I've sown here and cast Lotus Petal for 1 mana and 2 life. Ruby Medallion confirmed. Thought Not Seer. Okay, I can Myco Spawn, tutor Eldrazi Temple, and drop Thought Knots for the rest of the game, but my shields are down for a turn. Or I can just Thought Knot now, see what's going on over there. I think I have to tutor the land. Temple versus Ayavugan. I think Temple's better, because that can help cast like Chalice of the Void and stuff. Okay. Hope I don't die right now. That was the biggest decision I'm going to make in this game. Second Medallion. Okay. I mean, that's really good for them, but it does punch a hole for my Thought Not Seer. Or just a second Thorn. Okay. I think this is better. Let's just cancel out these Ruby Medallions the whole way up. And I'm pushing damage right now. So there's functionally not a Thorn or a Ruby Medallion in play right now. They've washed each other out. If they have artifact removal, which their deck certainly plays, a Burning Wish just costs what it costs. They got Fiery Confluence. That's really bad for me next turn. I will take it away this turn, though. Okay, we may have reached the spot where I am just ahead of their interaction, and we can make it work. Another Wish. I'm going to take the Confluence. Okay, so Seething Song is 5. The other Seething Song is 8. I mean, I'm behind here. And the thing I described in the last game is live of they might be able to mini Grape Shot me because I'm at 10 from my own land. They're going for something. Seething Song, Seething Song. J-Will nets 1 mana right now. Or flips 3 cards and they try to spend the mana they already have. Okay. They are going +1 mana. Burning Wish. Oh, they could do the dragon thing. They're just going to put 1,000,000 dragons into play and then I lose. Yeah, I can't beat 5 dragons right now. Here they come. Sick. All right, yep. They found the line. Does that mean... I mean, that was all there. They drew Blast Zone, which doesn't change the line. I think I had to take Burning Wish there, and I just chose wrong. I was so excited to steal the thing that they just got. Like, tee-hee-hee, got you so good. Nope. Good game. Yeah, I blew that one. Now I'm on the play. The Disruptor Flute is the card I would put in if I wanted literally everything that could interact with my opponent. Is that how I want to play this game? And on the play, I could put this down before Ruby Medallion. I don't think these commands are really better than Myco Spawns. I'm going to go 2 and 2 on that. And I am now a full prison deck, as full as I can be. I cannot cast the cards that I have, so I have to mulligan this. So I am on the play, which means Devourer of Destiny will get to look at 4 cards. And if there's a land anywhere among them, I could Null Rod on 2. But Null Rod's not even good. That's not even the good disruption. I'm going to mulligan. This hand has a bunch of mana. Can't cast the Myco Spawn. I can dismember a Ral. Kozilek's Command can redraw. Alright, I'm going to keep this, possibly against medical advice. And I'm going to lead on Eldrazi Temple and just pass. Because I can dismember a Ral with this. And it's 50-50 if they have Rals or Rubies. Right of Flame. Uh-oh. We guessed wrong. Come on, Thought Not Seer. Cavern of Souls. Okay, might just be dead here. So Fleshraker costs 1, and I'll have 1 Eldrazi colorless floating. I could exile Rite of Flame from the graveyard and draw a card. I'll do all of this right now. Okay, I am going to do that. Exile target card from a graveyard, and target player scries X and draws a card. Oh my god, what is happening? Colorless Eldrazi spells. I think Magic Online is confused about what I'm trying to do. Oh, no, I'm confused about what I'm trying to do. I need actual wing ding in the pool to do this. Yep, my bad. Okay, that line didn't work, but I don't think I had a better one. Am I dead? Probably. This is really bad. Should have gone to 5. Bergie, I have the Dismember up. I need them to whiff here. I blew it. Yeah, there's Wish. That card is pretty good. They made their land drop already, though, mercifully. But Wish can be all sorts of things. They'd have 2 mana left in the pool after wishing. Oh, Burning Wish from hand. Yeah, if I just hold up Dismember here, I get another turn. But instead, I lose. Yeah, I thought I was going to be holding up Dismember because I thought I could Kozilek's Command, which would have made a 0/1, and then I could Dismember. Like, I thought it was there, and I just blew it. If I had played... No, playing Ancient Tomb instead doesn't matter. I needed to take the turn off because the line I wanted to do just isn't there. You got Past in Flames. And yeah, look, the friggin' graveyard line of exiling the Rite of Flame would have busted this too. Oh! I'm a bad Eldrazi player. Take my Eldrazi card. I don't deserve it. Yeah, and they can make the pile of dragons here. Friends Resolve, flipped another Impulse that's free, and Burning Wish that's also free. All their spells are just free. Here's Ral. Here's the Wish. Won the flip. Ral's easy. Yeah, okay. You got me. I got myself, really, but GG. Okay. A 4-1 record where I punted the trophy around. Okay. This deck is super cool. It has a lot more play to it than I thought it would, and Kozilek's Command is the thing that's doing that. Null Drifter helps, but I'm not even convinced that slot is the best slot here. This could be any other big stupid Eldrazi. It could be like Reality Smasher, just kill him faster. Also comes down quicker, or any of the other new things. Could be Eldrazi Line Breaker. You probably have to build your deck a little differently to support red mana on that, but that kills your opponent very quickly. TBD, jury's out on Null Drifter, but Kozilek's Command giving these stupid Eldrazi Stompy decks a real spell and real agency and decisions to make in situations that come up, which is not what this deck's ever been able to do before. It's just sort of like, this is my hand, boom, 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 who's dead? But that Painter game was a great showcase of this thing really doing a little bit of everything. And if I could cast it like I thought I could in the final round, it also would have won that game for me. I think in the final round, what I needed to do was just not play Fleshraker. If I just leave up Kozilek's Command for 2, that's Graveyard Hate, it's Ral removal, and it's Dismember. That was definitely the correct thing to do there. And it is what I was trying to do, it just didn't work. Because Eldrazi mana. I'm not going to dwell on that, though. This was a lot of fun. Claire, thank you for the window to play this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.